Welcome to this episode of the Upfront Podcast. As always, I am your host, Nina Mueller, and this is the place where you get your dose of upfront and honest conversations with people from all around the world. Enjoy the show. For legal reasons, we cannot discuss or disclose any more information on the legal cases mentioned on this podcast episode. My guest today is Jolanda Spiess Hegglin, a journalist and former Swiss politician. One harrowing night, everything changed for her. In the aftermath, her name was extensively used in Swiss tabloid media in attempts to ruin her name and to victim blame, while Jolanda was trying to come to terms with what had happened to her and to seek legal accountability. Nowadays, Jolanda is an activist against gender-based violence and has therefore founded an NGO called Netzcourage, which you will find links to in the show notes. Jolanda still, to this day, is receiving misogynist hatred, harassment, and threats while she's working on vindicating her name and takes sole ownership of her story. We are talking about a personal story of one incredibly courageous woman who has taken on what feels like an entire nation's victim-blaming rhetoric. We will also talk about how everything that has happened to Jolanda has uncovered a dysfunctional justice system, law enforcement victim blaming and revictimization, and how evidentiary material was being disregarded. Jolanda and I will also be discussing the impact of the Me Too movement on Switzerland, discrimination of minorities, and the dangerous rise of incels in Switzerland. Please be aware that this episode contains difficult subject matter, such as sexual assault, so-called date rape drugs, and victim-blaming quotes, so please take care when listening. If you have experienced sexual harassment, assault, or abuse, you can find information and helplines in the show notes. Now, let's hear Jolanda's story directly from her. Hi, Jolanda. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Nina, for the invitation.
Of course. So please tell me a bit about yourself, first off.
Well, I am 42 years old. I'm living in the middle of Switzerland. And yes, my life is is very interesting at the moment. At one side, I am founder and a CEO of NGO. It's called Netzcourage. It's an organization against digital violence. I mean, cyber violence, especially gender-based cyber violence. And at the other side, I am activist. And at the moment, I have some proceedings against media, big media houses in Switzerland, the biggest and the second one. At the moment, I try to get the profit back they made with my name some years ago.
So this legal case is against personal exploitation?
Yes, there was a media campaign against me some years ago. They showed my photo and my name in a case of possible sexual, how can I say, it's not a sexual harassment, it's a
kind of an abuse.
Yes, it's a story, and nobody knows what happened exactly, but it happened something, and yes, they showed my name and my photo in this case, and that was illegal. And after this, that was on Christmas 2014, yeah, and the following 2 years they wrote about 2,000 or 3,000 articles about me, and that was not okay, told the court. And now I have the possibility to get the money back they earned with my name.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, that would possibly change the whole system in Switzerland. I think, now media, boulevard media, they write about a story and they earn big money about a story. They lie and they write some mistakes. And for me, as the victim, it was a very horrible time, 2 years of, I mean, I have 3 little children, a husband, a family, and they wrote one article and another one about my inner. That was, I mean, what happened at that night. It was very intimate for me, and they wrote about it for about 2 years, and they earned millions of Swiss francs.
Mm.
Now I go to court. I am at the court and I wait to the result. And when they say the money goes back to the victim, and that would be like this, they decided this already, but now we have to see how much money it was. So the boulevard media, they will not do it again, I think. It maybe or possibly, hopefully, it will change the whole system here in Switzerland. And that's something for other countries too. I mean, it's the first time that someone goes to court with this problem. And when we have a result, it would be good for all the victims all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would make a great case if you will actually win, which I truly hope you do. I think it would make for a great case of precedence that you could also use for other legal proceedings. So that would be amazing. Really.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah. That's. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you, as much as you're comfortable in sharing, what happened to the legal case that they had reported on and made so much money off of?
The legal case was finished. Can I say finished? Nothing happened to no one. Well, we don't know what happened. Nobody knows what happened. So it was a case should have not discussed in the community. That was private. Yeah.
And especially not, I mean, I do understand that they report on it in terms of because you were in the public eye as a politician at the time, but there's a certain limit to how much you actually put out there in terms of very intimate information of what could have happened, what might have happened. And so maybe just for our international listeners, this was a case of, I will put in alleged sexual abuse in a way. And as you've said before, there was apparently no evidence. So unfortunately, that is usually the case. When it does take too long, or law enforcement doesn't do the right things that they need to do as well. I think that's also an important part to mention.
Yes. And I had the DNA inside me, but it was not enough for nothing.
Really?
Yes. There were one DNA inside me and one DNA from another man in my underwear. Yes, but I couldn't do something.
And that was not evidence enough?
No. We have a horrible justice in Switzerland. It's very, very difficult to prove something like this. And I mean, I don't remember. I have a blackout from 8 hours. I don't remember nothing, and I can say nothing. There was DNA, but they told me maybe you wanted it. So
victim blaming.
Yes, I could not prove that this was not in my name.
Yeah, that you didn't consent to anything.
Yeah.
Wow. That's...
And I had to wait a long time in the hospital. I was there at the other morning at 10 o'clock, and I had to wait till 7 in the evening till they got they made the blood test. Yeah, too long. It doesn't work like this. I mean, the doctors told me probably there were
GHB, I think.
Yes, it's called KO drops here. Knockout drops here now. Yeah, yes, like this. But we couldn't prove it. Yeah.
Wow, that's astonishing, because I do know that a lot of victims or survivors, whatever you want to call it, and I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, I just want to make that very clear, but I know that in some cases, the issue was that law enforcement didn't react quickly enough, and then when they did that specific kit to investigate whether there was any DNA or other traces of foreign whatever it is, that would have led to a trial that didn't go the way the victim wanted to. And then obviously it's understandable that victims don't report, because if nothing happens and you still have to go through all of it,
Yeah, and in my case, they made the rape kit and not the knockout drops kit. So that was wrong. So I had to wait for the blood test, and after they told to the how can I say the not the court, it was the
the district attorney.
Yes, they told them about this case at the hospital, told them proactive about this case. And it was a horrible, how can I say?
It's a violation of your private sphere as well, right?
Yes, it was not okay that they told them. They told about this case. And after someone from the police or the hospital told about the case to the boulevard media. You can't believe it. And 4 days after, all the details were written at Blick, at the biggest boulevard tabloid in Switzerland, at the front side with my photo, my name, and the case that was forbidden. That was not okay.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. That's horrible.
It's a long time ago, but now it's all is okay.
I'm glad to hear that. But I understand, or I feel like in Switzerland there is kind of a bias against women, like in many other countries, to be honest, when it comes to reporting some kind of abuse, harassment, and all these things. I'm not sure whether you've heard I think it was Basel last year, there was another proceeding by a female judge where she actually full out victim blamed the victim of sexual assault. And there were protests, but nothing really happened as far as I'm aware.
Yes. I mean, we have such a conservative political situation here. I don't know. At the moment, we discuss about yes means yes. That's fantastic. Really, I thought that no means no would be good for Switzerland, but actually we are on yes means yes. That would be fantastic. Yes, maybe something happened now, but we had a lot of cases, a lot of horrible cases. We had my case and other cases that these cases were not okay. We had Me Too, like you, worldwide, and Me Too was very important for Switzerland too, and Me Too changed a lot here. And now it's possible that the system changes, but it's a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. I feel like I do want to ask you, how did you process all of this happening to you as the victim or the survivor, and then nothing actually coming out of it, being put in the media in a bad way? So you might consider your reputation, being the public eye as you were a politician at the time. How did you deal with all of that, and your family? How did you process it?
I learned to accept it, that every time I go to the city to shop some things for the family, all the time people look about me. I had to respect, or I had to learn it, that this is my situation. I have to accept it. And I mean, it's great that I have such a stable family, a stable partnership also with my husband. That's very, very important. And if this would not be stable, well, I don't know if I would live, if I survived this. We had to look about where can we get money for the proceeds for the court. I mean, this was very, very expensive all these years. I get back a little part of the money I spent to the court, a little part, and we are not at the end yet. But maybe soon. I hope that we soon can say now we got it. They have to make it good. I mean, with the money, but very good. It isn't good at all, but maybe they can
like make up for it in a way.
Yes, yes. But it's hard because you told me that the reputation and the media always. The media. I am a big problem for them
because you're a woman who's not silent about it.
Yes,
it's very uncomfortable.
But I am yes, I am really an enemy for them because when I changed the system of the boulevard, the business model from boulevard, I mean the business model is to destroy people and earn money with that. And when I destroy this now with my case at the court, I mean, as some media, I can say they hate me. And that's the reason why I don't get good press at the moment. And I have an NGO, and we make a lot of very important work, but I don't get the good or the normal press. But everybody knows. I mean, what we have now or what we do now is so important. Everybody knows why they write some bullshit about me.
A lot of women, it's great if they do have the courage, or other people of other genders, but especially those that are find more bias against them. I think it's amazing if they do find the courage and support somehow within themselves or within their family and friends to actually stand up for themselves. That's really amazing and courageous. So I applaud you for that, honestly.
As long as I have the power, I make it. And it was the only possibility. I mean, to be silent, that wasn't a way for me. That would not be a way for you. No, that couldn't be. To stand up and fight, it's the only way at the moment.
So was this actually what led to you not wanting to be in politics anymore?
No, because I saw that. Well, I was in the parliament here in Zug, a little canton in Switzerland, very conservative and right wing. And it was so difficult for me as a woman, as a loud woman. It was so hard for me here. And I thought maybe I have to use my power for good things and things for women and things that can change the situation here in Switzerland. And now I can change the situation. I can change the big things now. But these things were not possible at the parliament in Zug.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's good that we have women here in the parliament, but that was not mine. Because I can't talk with my enemies. That doesn't work. And at the parliament, you have to do that. Yeah.
Right. I think that's why I probably would never go into politics, because I couldn't.
Yeah.
But you have mentioned that you have founded Netzcourage, which I will have linked down below in the show notes, so people can go and have a look. And so this is the first and only charitable foundation in Switzerland to actually fight violence on the internet. What are the main issues your foundation or NGO deals with?
We give all our power that people, especially women, don't go back, that they don't be silent. That's important thing. We care about victims of digital violence. We work with them, and we look that they don't have to be afraid, and that they don't have to pay a lawyer. We have a lawyer here. It's completely for free for all victims of cyber violence can get our work for free. And that's very important, that you don't have to think about, do you have enough money? If I have to go to court, or what do you have to do? We check about the situation for people, because like digital violence is not something we know much about it, but My case, it was a lot of digital violence against me in the years of 2014, 15, 16, and I had no one who could help me. I was alone at the time, and that was very, very hard for me, and I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know if I have to pay a lawyer or if I had to go to the police every time, every day, every hour. I didn't know what to do. And after this time, I thought, well, I have to give my backpack to others. And so I founded Netzcourage, this NGO. And we are a little team. I have two beautiful and fantastic ladies by my side, and we work every day for victims of digital violence in Switzerland. And we are the only NGO that focuses this kind of problem.
So are you dependent on donations, or do you have some kind of charitable foundation behind you that is helping with funding?
Yes, mostly we need donations, donations, and you can be a member, and the membership fee we can use. And other possibilities we have sometimes. And last year we tried a partnership with the government. We tried a partnership, but it didn't work because we work when it happens. We work at the weekend, the night. This thing we have on our table every day, it's absolutely new, and we have to check what works. And we are very creative, and I would say we work not like the government, and that was a big problem. And so we finished the partnership, and it's better like this because it didn't work. We need private supporters at the moment. We have the Istanbul Convention, and there is digital violence inside. And Switzerland signed this convention to pay for help for victims of digital violence, but they don't pay. I don't know what to do. It's a very difficult situation at the moment.
Yeah, sure sounds like it. Do you have international or exclusively Swiss cases?
We have mostly Swiss cases. Sometimes we have international cases, and then we have our network for Germany. Maybe, for example, we have Hate Aid, Austria, it's SARA. Then we can give the cases to them. And we are also a member of the International Network Against Cyber Hate. We network with each other, and some countries have good ideas with new tools. And 2 weeks ago, we wrote a letter to Elon Musk to protest such stories.
Oh, amazing. What are the difficulties for you of legally enforcing internet violence, bullying, harassment, and the like? What can you do legally?
The big problem in Switzerland is that we have a law from the last century. Yes, it's not digital. It's an analog law. We don't have any digital articles in the law book. So we have to be very creative, and we try to get the old law with the new digital problem. We try to get it together. Sometimes that works, but it's not good at all. For example, last year we have a case from cyber stalking, and normally, cyber stalking isn't written in the law book. So we had to prove that cyber stalking is stalking. So it sounds a bit easy, but it was very difficult because we had to prove all these aggressions, texts, all the screenshots and so on. We had to prove it at the court. And so the court told us, yes, this case of cyber stalking is stalking. And so we have the possibility to say that the aggressor, the perpetrator, gets a contact they should not contact me. Yeah,
prohibiting
they should
perpetrator
not.
contacting the victim.
Yes, and yes, it was forbidden to contact me. And yes, the victim was me in this case. Yes, that's also a little bit special, but it was a big case. So the court told us, yes, it's cyberstalking, and he doesn't contact you. But the problem was, it was meant in the analog life, not in the digital life. Or it was forbidden for him to come to my home, to my office. But it was not forbidden to him to make the cyberstalking again. And so it was a law, an old law with a new interpretation, but it didn't end like we would.
But I find it weird anyways, because there's no actual stalking laws, right, in Switzerland?
Yes, we have nothing. If you have a stalker, the stalker has to be a part of your family. I mean, your brother, your husband, your ex-husband. Then you can do something with a contact stopping. But you have a stalker, but you don't know him, and then he is not part of your family. You can do nothing. You can do something in 3 cantons of Switzerland, and Switzerland has 26 cantons. I mean, it's like little parts, little governments. And only in 3 of them you can do something against the stalker. It's horrible.
Seems pretty much medieval, really.
Yes. Yeah, horrible.
And then I also don't understand. I mean, of course, I understand why there is like this no contact order that you can do after something had happened. But then, like in a worst case scenario, what if this person comes up to this victim, kills them? What is that no contact order like? What is that going to do?
We had these cases, and nothing happened.
So in Switzerland, much like in other countries, femicides and other forms of violence have increased immensely during the COVID pandemic. Switzerland has very low penalties for violence against minorities and against women. And I do see that time and time again. What do you see as the main issue that has to change politically in Switzerland to protect its people better?
I mean, we have women, they don't earn as much as men. That's fact. It's a lot. I mean, 20% or something lower. And we have a law. We have a anti-discrimination law. You know, I could not discriminate people with other color, and people with another religion, people with another sexuality. It's forbidden, but not if I discriminate women. That's a good law. You get a penalty, not a little, just a little, but you get one. But when you discriminate women, that's okay, and that's the problem here. It's a big problem how we live, or how we.
That women are also discriminated against.
Yes. We have a big problem with that. The people who made the law and politicians that can change the country, but these people are all old white men. That's a problem, and they don't understand the problem we really have here in Switzerland. It's a discrimination between men and women.
Yeah, I feel like the gender pay gap and all of these inequalities are pretty high in Switzerland for such a developed country.
Yes. We don't have a war. We don't have a Sharia. We don't have the really horrible situations we don't have here. But I think you expect that in Switzerland all is okay, but it isn't, and that's a problem. Yeah.
As you've mentioned, this anti-discrimination law, but it isn't really anything detailed. So it's very much up to the judge, I guess, in any case, to determine whether this is actually applicable, whether this was actual discrimination, or whether it was just a mere instance of a discussion that went awry or something like that. And there is a direct quote that kind of shocked me. So this is a direct quote in a translated form. Only incidents in the public sphere are punishable. Thus, discriminatory actions or statements that are conducted or made among friends or in family circles, for example, remain exempt from punishment. End of quote. This is shocking.
All inside the four walls from the home, it's private.
As long as you're not a female politician who's standing up against media houses, right?
Yes, that's right.
Another thing that I wanted to mention, there are a lot of debates on possibly changing the laws that are going on in Switzerland, because it is about time that it catches up to the standards that it is also portraying towards the outside. And Nazi symbols, for example, are amongst like the incendiary symbols that are still allowed. And now a new initiative was passed before the government, but it was actually denied once more by the Swiss government to have these banned. Do you see these kinds of things changing in the future?
Poor. I mean, it's totally crazy. I don't think so that Swiss people would change their. I mean, this discussion is such old. We discuss about Nazi symbols for I don't know how many times till today, and nothing changes. For an activist like me, it's a horrible situation, and all that I can do is to be loud and to ask my community if they also could be loud, please. But I don't know, Switzerland is so special. They think they have to be in the middle, just not friend of those and not friend of the others, but in the middle. Yeah, in the middle. And I hated to be in the middle. I would like to take a position. And that's typical Switzerland. And I don't know if we can change this in the next few years. We can change something if you just do it, like me, to change the media system. Well, I try it, but I make it for myself. It's not like the government comes and tell me, it's good what you do. We support you. It's a good idea. No, I have to do it for myself. Maybe it works and maybe not, but Switzerland is horrible.
There's this weird thing happening sometimes on Facebook, for example. So when some kind of violence or any form of abuse occurs, many reported forms of violence, hate speech, abuse is denied with the explanation, like when you do report those to Facebook directly, it is usually denied with the explanation that it doesn't violate community standards. What kind of legal basis can one enforce in this instance? Is there a national law that is superior to international law, or how does that work?
I mean, we could do something. We could say that, for example, Facebook has to respect our law. They have to delete these aggressions or these, you know what I mean. But also here, it's a big silence. Switzerland could say that they have to respect our law, but they don't. In Germany, it's better, and in Austria it's better. They have a law. They can say Facebook had to pay lots of penalties when they don't delete the hate. And in Switzerland, we don't have this. In this time, I mean, Facebook is a free social network, and when we don't have to pay for it, we can't
restrict it in a way.
Yes, the rules. We cannot say we have rules because it's free and it's for everyone here. But yes, I mean, we have another problem that Facebook doesn't understand Swiss German. And I saw horrible comments in Swiss German, and you can report it and report it and report it, and nothing happened because they don't understand it. But they don't want to understand it. I talked with a manager from Facebook, 2 years ago or so. And he told me Switzerland isn't their market. Switzerland isn't an attractive market for them. And that's the reason why nothing happened.
So they don't care enough, probably, allegedly, because they can't make enough money.
Yes, that's the reason.
Another big issue in women's rights, specifically on the internet, is the incel movement. Have you personally, with your cases that you do or yourself, ever encountered these cases of incel hatred?
Well, in Switzerland, we didn't have any shootings from incel till today. But I'm sure that we have a problem with incel. And I report, or I have a look at these international incel networks, and I see that Switzerland is a part of it. We have Swiss incel, and I wanted to start a research here in Switzerland, and I wrote a paper for the government and asked if they would pay our work, and university could analyze this, and another NGO, especially for men, would work about an instrument to get these men back to the reality. You know what I mean? Radical men, and to reach them, work with them. And that was our project. And we asked the government to pay for it. And they told us, no, it's not so important in Switzerland. It's not at the top of our timetable. It's not important at all. So we don't pay for it, and so we could not realize it. Switzerland thinks it's not important enough.
How and with what kinds of cases can people turn to you and your organization?
Well, we have the normal, I say normal situation that you get attacked on Twitter or Facebook or wherever with something that isn't okay. And it's subjective. I mean, who tells you what is okay and what is not okay? So we can check this with the law from case to case. We have a look if it's possible to go to court or not. We make a research, and we search about. I mean, when you get attacked from an anonymous account, we make the research, and it's possible that we find something that we can use at court. But a big thing, or an important thing, is also that we understand the victim. I mean, we all here at Netzcourage, we know what digital violence makes with me, and how it hurts also. And that's our backpack. And I mean, with this backpack, we have to talk with the victims. We know what they mean. We know what they need. It's not to delete the Facebook account. Like at the police station, they tell you that you have to close your Facebook or Insta account if it hurts. I mean, that's bullshit. Don't do that. Don't be silent. It's very, very important that we talk with the victims, and then that we can make something like, I say it in German, Psychohygiene.
Like psychological, mental health counseling.
Sounds good. Something like that. Mental health sounds good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and not every person wants to go to the wood and scream. Some people, they want to close their Facebook account, and some people want to work, and some victims want to I don't know. We have a lot of ways to go, and I think that we can be helpful in this moment. It's very important that you can talk with someone who knows what you mean and how it hurts. At the police, you don't get this.
Can people also submit their case or their sort of contact anonymously in a way, or is it usually not the case that they want to stay anonymous with you?
With us, of course, can write us with an anonymous email. But when you want to go to court, you can't do that anonymous. Yeah, it's kind of bullshit. That doesn't work. It's bullshit, but it's fact.
What kind of proof do people need to collect?
It's important to have a screenshot with the time code. I mean, you can make a screenshot with your iPhone. And normally that works, but in some cases you need a time code. Yes, and so you have to prove it really. And we can make these screenshots for you when you have a problem, and when you send us the link, for example. I don't know if you saw it. We have the Netzpickhock, the tool. You can find it on the internet at netzpickhock.ch. And if you get a dick pic, you don't go to the police. You don't go to the policeman, 65 years old, and you know what I mean. You don't do that. But with a Netzpickhock, you can do this online. And that's a simple tool that
To
makes it
report
possible. Yeah, report it.
Oh.
And make not just reporting, it's you go to court with it. You have to fill out the form in 60 seconds. You have it. You have to sign, you print out the paper. You have to sign it and send it to the court. The last few months, there were a lot of penalties for the sender of these dick pics, and that makes, maybe 500 Swiss francs or 400 Swiss francs, maybe 800 Swiss francs for a dick pic. That's an effective tool that can help the victims to stand up and do something about this.
Yeah, that's great. I will actually have that link below as well, because you never know who's listening and is in need of some kind of support or like where to turn to. Because I wouldn't have gone to the police because I wouldn't have known that they would even react to it.
Yeah. Normally, we don't have at the court. We don't have. It's not sexual harassment. Sending dick pics. It's not a sexual harassment. I mean, it's so crazy.
Really?
Yes, it's pornography, and you have to know it. And pornography, you can go to court with pornography, but not with sexual harassment. And our Netzpickhock sends a paper to the court with pornography. Yeah, that works.
It's interesting that you say that this is pornography and not sexual harassment, because I remember when I was still working in Switzerland, there were a lot of workplace incidents where I thought to myself, if this was another country, my boss would like have to go to court for sexual harassment.
I'm sure that in other countries that would work. In Switzerland, not. Yeah.
Is there something you can recommend to people who have had to deal with internet violence in terms of moving ahead and being able to deal with it, and with what they've experienced, apart from like reporting to you, apart from reaching out to mental health hotlines and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, in every country you have these NGOs. Probably someone is there who can help you when you have a problem. But much more important is that you are stable, that you can help a friend when your friend has a problem. You have to be there. You have to stand up. Yes, stand up and be loud. I mean, that's the one and only, not only, but the most important thing is that you, in Switzerland or in German, we say Haltung zeigen.
So civil courage in a way.
Yeah, be loud and with a strong back, stand behind other victims and don't let them be alone. I think that's the most important thing I have to tell you all over the world.
I'm sure we also have parents listening. What do you recommend for them to do in case of bullying at school or for different forms of internet harassment, discrimination, and the like?
Well, that's another big field. The most important thing is that you have the contact with your child. Always have a connection to your child, that you talk with your child about all this stuff. That's the most important. I think it's not good when you say okay, you have 1 hour per day, you can go to the internet or something like this. That's bullshit. Yeah, you have to create or to build a strong line to your child. Yeah, that you reach it also in situations that are difficult for the child. It's easy to say and difficult to do. I know. I also have 3 children, but it's so important that you can speak openly and speak about all. Trust the child and don't read the chats of your child in secret. Don't do that. Tell your child, hey, child, come on, we read now. The chats, it's okay for you. When the child says, no, I don't want, then you know something is maybe something happened, but it would be the best would be that you have a strong line to your child and can talk about the things happened online.
I think it's a very good point that you're making, because when you listen to reports on child internet abuse or any kinds of cases in that field, there is a lot of talk of adult men enticing them in a way and making it interesting for them to, like, oh, send me a picture of yours. Oh, you're so cute. I'll send you one of mine. And they sound friendly, but they're really not. They're just trying to exploit the child.
Yeah, for these situations, the child has to know that these men, that they exist. I mean, when I am a child and I don't know, I don't know nothing about these
predators, really.
Yes,
right?
Predators or problems or I mean, that's very difficult. But when I know there are bad people outside there, when I know it's much easier. But it could happen that something could happen always, I know, but it's better than that you have a look that your child knows much about the situation online.
I only wonder about, when would you tell them to not scare them off of everything, you know?
Yes, that's a good point. That they don't be scared. Yeah, that's.
But at the same time, be careful, kind of.
Yeah, it's very, every child is different. That's a very a difficult question or a difficult case. You know your child as best, and you have to get the right time to talk about without secrets about the problems. Sorry. Yeah,
understandable. If they do have a safe space, then they will turn to you if they feel like something's a bit off, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to add from your side?
No, you asked a lot. And,
Sorry.
and I just hope that people understand my horrible English.
I do feel like everybody's going to understand, but it is a very difficult and multifaceted topic to cover all of this in one podcast episode. But thank you so much for doing this, Jolanda, and I wish you the best of luck with your case.
Thank you.
And
maybe you
with your
maybe
future
you read it at the newspaper in about a few months, or maybe 1 or 2 years, when it takes a long time, and maybe then we got it. Yeah.
And maybe we can do another podcast episode to celebrate.
Let's do that. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jolanda.
Thank you.
And I'll have all the links down below in the show notes. Please, if you do want to make a donation to Netzcourage, please reach out to them, send them an email, whatever you want to do. And if you have anything to report, please reach out to them as well. Thank you for doing this, Jolanda. It was a great pleasure.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Upfront Podcast. If you haven't already, give us a follow and join in the conversation on Facebook and Instagram at the Upfront Podcast. Take care and see you next week.